to lock them up and fix them or make them go away.
Trans women are women.
Trans women are women.
Trans men are men.
Trans men are men.
Hello, good
Hello.
people. Hi, I'm Fox.
And I'm Al.
And we're both trans activists, and I define as non-binary.
And I define as non-binary too.
Yes. I'm neither a man or a woman. I don't want to fit into the narrow expectations of what it is to be a man. Was that sexy?
It's about more than just denouncing gender stereotypes, because it is in itself an identity. It's about learning to celebrate and accept yourself outside of the binary. And it's about defiance.
Let's go. I love the activism that we do, and it's so nice to have Al with me as my partner in crime. Event where people will take that away with them. The films that we make, I kind of want people to be like, well, so they're trans, so what?
That is the time to really stand up when somebody says something about... We've been doing activism for a very long time. It always seems to move very slowly though, so it's always a bit frustrating. But it is really important to have those conversations.
You know, across the board, from education to business, all that.
I mean, trans people are still facing like serious issues when it comes down to education, to the workplace. You know, there's really high suicide rates. Trans people are still being violently attacked. I never actually set out to be an activist, but I realized that I was coming out to a world that didn't know anything about being trans, so I sort of had to carve my own way in the media and just start speaking up about these things because no one else was doing it. The media is full of rubbish about trans people, so we do this thing because we have to.
Just in the car heading off to Totnes Pride today.
So we just arrived at Totnes for a sound check for our speech. We're wearing our glitzy outfits for Pride, woohoo.
But Pride is a protest still.
So yeah, we're also not here just to have a great time, but also to raise awareness of things that are important to raise awareness of. Our little nephew Henry, looking very cute. First Pride for Henry.
We're going to be giving a speech, a very rousing trans-related speech, about 11 o'clock, and then the march is going to head off at 11:30.
The reason why it's important for trans people to be visible at Pride is because there's been a lot of rise in transphobia recently in the UK.
Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights.
Non-binary is valid.
Non-binary is valid.
These types of events create a space where people can be themselves without judgment. And for many, it's a highlight of their year.
So, what are you proud of, Al?
I am proud of a lot of things. I'm proud of trans people for being a great and an amazing community that is rising up against a lot of hardship right now. And I think we're coming together and we are mobilizing other people in the community as well. And there is a lot of strength in that, I feel.
Just heading back to Brighton, and it's going to be about like a 5-6 hour trip. Tomorrow we're off to London for like 3 appointments.
Yay.
And then Tuesday we're in London as well, and Friday we're in London too.
We often have really, really long days and we do a lot of meetings and stuff when we travel a lot to London, for example.
It just feels like there's always more work to be done. There's admin to do, there's people to respond to, there's nasty messages from various social media that I have to deal with and block and delete. As an example of some of the hate messages that we get online, this is just one that I woke up to today that says, "Gender dysphoria is all this is. They are literally insane. People don't need to pander to the crazy. We need to lock them up and fix them or make them go away. This is just bad parenting and insanity, nothing else to it." If I wasn't a trans activist, I would be a screen printer just making art. And I miss that as well sometimes. So this is the 4th or 5th meeting that we've had this year talking about non-binary trans issues, all off the record, all on our own time and dime. But this is true activism, I suppose, where hopefully it'll all pay off. Being able to access policymakers and help them understand the importance of trans rights is probably one of the most important things in activism.
Who's getting married? Yay, good for them.
Oh, hi there.
What's going on?
You know, just waiting for a train to go back to Brighton.
Trans activists are often sharing very personal things, and we have to be incredibly vulnerable, and at the same time we have to be able to, you know, get our points across, and it's actually quite exhausting sometimes. And for example, after today we feel quite tired actually.
Yeah.
When we get home, just being able to sit down and breathe and relax, and just being able to cook some food really helps me sort of wind down and reflect on the day.
I feel like we've achieved so much through activism over the years.
People reach out to us so many times to say that it's actually making a difference to them and it inspires them, so that's when you know that it's working and the hard work matters.